Awesome. Welcome, guys. This is going to be a short training about the $1 million mindset. So I'm going to preface this by saying that had a lot of success in the very beginning of the business, but I hit a brick wall because I fought the system. I fought some of the things that the leaders were doing, and I didn't see the value in it right away. I wasn't aware of why it was happening. And so I fought it, and that's just a personality trait that I've been working on for a while. Is I fight things until I truly understand them. So some of you guys might be in that same situation right now, but I'm going to go over some of the things that I learned that will save you a lot of trouble down the line. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now. I'm going to mute everybody out. Mute. Awesome. All right, share my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Fantastic. All right, so $1 million mindset. Everything in life is about perspective. And me and you can look at the same situation and the same series of events, and both of us could see something completely different. So what I hear a lot is that there's too many notifications. What I hear a lot is even people from outside the business, they'll see my phone and see how many notifications I have pop up. And they're like, that would give me anxiety. Like, I can't handle that. First of all, like if you're going to run an online business, you have to expect notifications. Like, that's kind of like the trade-off. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get a residual six-figure income, I'm okay with some red bubbles saying I have notifications. But what's too many notifications? Is your why not worth having some red bubbles on your phone saying that you're being notified of something? And what is it that you're being notified of? Do you understand the importance of it? And so this comes down to perspective. So if you look at something with an employee mindset, you're going to look at what we do and you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be annoyed. You're going to be annoyed with all the notifications and the redundancy of some of the messages. You're going to be confused. If you have an employee mindset, you are looking to put in the minimum effort. So you want to, of course, you want to have a six-figure residual income online, but you want to make sure that, hold on, let me take this antidote off, perfect. You want to make sure that you do the least amount necessary to get that. And usually an employee mindset is what's going to leave you unsuccessful. So if you find yourself in this business and you're not having the success that you might want to be having right yet, you probably have the wrong mindset about some things, and hopefully I can clear that up right now. The CEO mindset. So when I look at notifications, when I see the systems that we have, when I see the amount of calls that we have, when I see the amount of groups that we have online, I see control. I see something that is scalable. Me and you might both look at the amount of calls, the amount of message groups, and the amount of Facebook groups that we have, and you might be overwhelmed and you might be annoyed by it, when I'm excited by it because I see that that's something that's scalable. I see structure. Structure is everything in life and business. See, we don't have an office where we have a memo board and we have morning and afternoon meetings so we can regroup. All our meetings are done online. All our meetings are done through Zooms, through Facebook messages. That's the trade-off we have. And so when someone has a CEO mindset, when somebody looks at something and sees it with the scalability and sees the structure, they're gonna be successful because they have that frame of mind that they're looking at something saying, okay, this is all here for a reason, and they're thankful for it. See, I'm thankful that we have these systems. When I first joined, we didn't have half of these systems when I first started this business. We were running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And so having the CEO mindset is important because the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want a team of 40,000 people? And if you're on this call, I'm assuming that would be an answer of yes. Like you want a team of 40,000 people. The question, how do you expect to grow and run that team? See, I could probably trade spots with you right now. I could sign my position over to you right now, and you'll probably destroy it in the next month or two if you don't have the right mindset. You know, you ever see people win the lottery and how most people that win the lottery out of nowhere all of a sudden go bankrupt? And you ever wonder why that happens? Because they get something that they're not quite yet ready to handle. because they don't have the same frame of mind or the structure or the experience to be able to handle that kind of money. And so it's the same thing with this business, is that if you want to have a team of 40,000 people someday, you need to start looking at things that with the same frame of mind as if you had 40,000 people, whether you have 40,000 or 4 people. Because you can't get to the point where you have 40,000 people in your team if you don't start implementing the same structure and control in the business with 4 people as you would with 40,000. Make sense? You need to have something that's scalable. And that's where this comes in handy. So when you're leading thousands of people, right? Again, you might be brand new on this call. That's okay. You need to have the same mindset when looking at this system as I do with 1,000 people. Because in order to get 1,000 people on your team, you need to implement things from day one. So on the right side of your screen, you see a group of people at the top that's absolute complete chaos, right? It's just chaos, it's rioting, it's things going all over the place. And then the bottom, you see a structured Marine Corps line. Which group of people would you rather lead? Which group of people would you rather put your business and your years of hard work in their hands? Would you want a system that's absolute chaos and there's no order to it whatsoever? Or would you want repetition and duplication and structure? See, in order to lead thousands of people, you need to have a system. You need to have a system in place. That's how McDonald's is a multi-billion-dollar business, but is run by teenagers because it has a system in place. See, our system is comprised of Facebook groups. Yes, we have a lot of them. Thank God we do. I preach about the wellness page. I preach about the team pages and the DFY systems pages and the IC groups that we have. Those are huge. Those are some things that we didn't have when we first started. Why do we have them now? Because we realized the importance of them. And so we implemented them in. You are in a great situation. The message groups, there's duplication, right? There's a lot of repetition. And a lot of times people are like, well, I get the same message in 4 different places. If you have a team of 40,000 people, would you rather some people get the message a couple times to make sure they have it? Or would you rather half your people miss the message? If it's an important message, you want to make sure everybody sees that message, right? So would you rather repetition or would you rather cracks in your business? What happens if a military unit goes out and to accomplish a task and half their unit misses the message or the memo of what's going on during that mission? Is that going to be a successful mission? No. If you ever look at anything that's serious, if you look at the government, you look at the military, you look at police officers and firefighters or any kind of serious life or death situation, there is all kinds of checks and balances. There is so much repetition. There is so much checking and double checking because it's important, right? It's important. I understand that this is an online business that we run from our phones, but don't treat it like it's a toy. Like this is a business. You have to have the same mindset of checks and balances. I want to make sure that all 1,000 people on my team get the message. And if that means a few people get the message 2 or 3 times, well, so be it. That means that they realize the importance of it. They understand that. And if they're getting that message 2 or 3 times, they can either choose to have an employee mindset and get aggravated by it, or they can say, you know what? When I have 1,000 people on my team, I'm glad that there's a system in place that nobody's going to miss the information, that there's so many checks and balances that we're always going to make sure that no one gets lost in this system. So which group of people do you want to lead? Helping make the system even more powerful. These are the things that you can do to help improve the system that we already have. Staying in the groups. Leaving the groups does no good. Does you no good? Does your team no good? Does the future of this business no good? Making sure everybody in your team is added to the groups. Engaging in Facebook groups as much as possible. Liking and commenting and posting. This is key. Like we can see as admins of the page how many and who saw the post versus how many that like it. So I know exactly who looks at it but doesn't hit the like button or doesn't leave a comment, doesn't engage. I can see that information. So there's no hiding behind that. If you have the time to scroll through and look at the post, you don't have the second to hit like and show support in the system. When you have a new business partner come into the business and they're seeing notifications of people getting customers and people ranking up or some important information, would you rather your brand new prospect see a post that has 3 likes on it and looks like no one cares? Or would you rather have 1,000 likes on it, 50 comments, and showing high activity, high engagement, high energy? Which would you rather for the person that you bring into the business? Do not respond in the do not respond groups. This is one of the biggest things. We don't need to aggravate people if we don't have to. Getting information across should not be aggravating. But if we say it's a do not respond group and you love the comments, or you throw a thumbs up, or you throw a heart, like that is a response. Don't do that, because that's not adding any value to anybody, right? Likes and comments and everything on the Facebook post, but in the Facebook group, everybody gets notified every time you do something in that group. If it's a do not respond group, it means it's a memo board. It's a one-way street. It's messages only. It's announcements. So every time someone hits like on the message, everybody gets notified of that. So please do not do that. Help in the verbiage groups. Each individual team usually has their verbiage groups where you can screenshot your conversations you're having and post and get help. Use those groups. If you're brand new, don't message unless it's a personal message, unless it's something that it's private, but don't just message it directly to your mentor. Put it in that group, because what happens is you're playing team. If you were trying to figure out how to respond to your friend, who knows, maybe 10 other people have that same situation that's happening right now. And by me responding to that, to your screenshot in the group, I'm going to be able to help 10 other people learn how to respond to that as well, instead of doing it 10 times individually. Plus, it makes more sense for time freedom. When you have 1,000 people on your team, you'd rather answer something once in a group than 1,000 times individually, right? So again, this is set up for future success and future time freedom. Learning and passing the importance of this on. So just adding your people to the groups is not enough. You have to make sure when you add your new people to the groups that you're explaining, like, hey, this is why this is important. And I'm recording this right now, so you can actually send this to them. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel, but make sure they understand that there's a reason behind what we do. Otherwise, if they're confused, if they're undereducated about what we're doing, they're going to see it as annoying instead of seeing it as the structure and scalability that we actually have here. What you're saying when you unplug from the system. If you leave a group, this is what you're saying. By leaving the group, not only does everybody get notified of it, when you walk out of the group, that's basically like putting your own tiki torch out and kicking yourself off the island. Like, everybody in the group sees that you left, right? But you're telling your team that's in the group, and you're telling your future team that the system that's in place that has helped so many of us make 6-figure incomes is not important enough for you to stay in it. The information is not important enough to have you stay in it. It's not worth a notification or 2 on your phone a day. That's not worth it. What you're telling your leaders is that you don't value the countless hours or years that they put into creating the system for you. See, you guys might think that, like, I love spending hours of my day coming up with trainings and coming up with videos and coming up with all kinds of different stuff to help teach you guys and help lead you guys to make money. But, like, I'd rather be napping. Like, I would. I do it to help you. And so if I'm putting all this time and effort in place to make you money, the least you can do is respect the fact that, like, I'm trying to do it to help you. I'm not just posting it for my own good. I'm not making these trainings up and doing these conference calls to remind myself of stuff I already know, right? I'm doing it to help you get to where I'm at. So at least you can do is say, hey, that's valuable. If Mr. Nieves is adding me to a group and is including me in some information and is teaching me some stuff, it's very rude and disrespectful of me to leave that if I really want to have success, right? Unless there's some kind of crazy circumstance, like it's just like I'm walking out of him during a presentation, basically. You're saying your why is not worth it. Every time I see someone that says left the group, so-and-so left the group, I'm like, they just quit on themselves. They just literally quit on themselves. They unplug themselves from the system that's proven to make people succeed. The only reason why you would do that is if you're quitting. That's it. Like, you're not going to be any better off being removed from the system than you are in the system. So, like, that immediately, all I can think about is your why. Because every one of you, I know your why. Most of you, I know your why. And so immediately I'm like, all of a sudden your mom didn't become important enough anymore? All of a sudden your why isn't important enough anymore? Facebook notifications are going to stop you from that? What you can do instead is you can temporarily mute notifications. If you're at work, or if you're a surgeon and your phone's blowing up and you're going to end up killing somebody if you by accident because of the notifications, you can go into the group and you can go and pause notifications for an hour, indefinitely, whatever. You can pause it, but then go back when you have time and unpause it and read it. Again, this is an online business. Like, you not being plugged in is going to do you no good. This is not going to help you succeed. So it's you pick and choose. Like, it might give you anxiety seeing all the notifications. It gives me more anxiety thinking about you working for the next 60 years and might not have a job 10 years from now because it gets replaced by a robot. That gives me more anxiety. I don't know about you. Because this, I can just clear it off. Oh, notification's gone. Problem solved, right? And then I go back and look when I'm done. Everything you do will duplicate down. And now this is a real sad but real image of a family that's duplicating something down. The husband's yelling at the wife's yelling at the child's yelling at the teddy bear. Everything you do in this business is just like raising a child. It's just like growing a family. What you do is going to duplicate. It's like if you leave the group, how do you expect your team not to leave the group? If you don't show up to events, how in the world can you tell your team that it's important to show up to events if you don't show up to events, right? That's like parents smoking cigarettes trying to tell their kids not to smoke cigarettes. Like, that's not going to work. They're going to do what you do. And so leading by example is key. I literally make sure that I plug into everything. I don't need to plug into everything. I'm the one that created most of this. I plug in because I want to lead by example. You guys are worth it to me. You guys are worth it to me to be on a call that I've heard 17 times or hear a training that I created. Like, literally, I'm on it to show you the value of being on it because I care. If you're going to recruit anybody in this business, even one person in this business, you have to understand that you're leading the way for that person. That your actions are going to dictate how that person succeeds or fails in this business. I take that very, very, very seriously. Your success and your why means more to me than my own. I promise you that. Like, some of you might not have been in situations where you've made the kind of income that you want. In my course of my life, I've had times where I was homeless, and I've had times where I've made more money than you can even understand. And I promise you, it's not the money that brings the happiness and significance. It's having purpose, and it's making progress. My favorite thing about this business is helping each and every one of you get your first check, grow, become better tomorrow than you were today. In order to do that, I need to lead by example. It kills me when I try to help and try to pour into somebody and they don't understand the big picture. You got to see the big picture. You got to start thinking like you have a business of 100,000 people. Otherwise, you'll never have a business of 100,000 people. Does that make sense? Like, you need to make sure that you're doing things the right way. I don't care if you don't even have a business partner yet. You show up to the events, you get on the calls, you plug into the system because your why is worth it. And because your people that you will recruit, their why is worth it. And if you don't do it, they're not going to do it. So you're going to set them up for failure. You're going to set them up for immediate failure. And to me, that you can't lead with integrity like that. To me, you guys are everything to me. You guys are everything to me. When I see notifications come up my phone, I get excited because I know that this means that people are getting closer to accomplishing their why. Every notification means we're making progress. I love that. To me, it's worth it. Is it not worth it to you guys? Is it not worth it? Your family deserves it. It literally kills me to hear people talk about notifications like it's something that's really impeding their life, like it's something that's really stopping them from life. You'll go spend 40 hours of work a week, go and work for somebody else at a job you probably don't care about for 50 more years and not get paid what you're worth, but notifications being plugged into the system, creating the good habits of a leader, good habits of someone that can handle 100,000 people in your team. If you can't handle a few notifications on your phone, how do you expect to handle $1 million business? This is what I want to get through to you guys, is that this is important stuff. It might sound trivial, and it did to me at first. I'm like, why am I hearing the same message 6 times? Why is this the same call 7 times? You know, I thought it was like the boy who cried wolf. Well, this isn't important. It is important. That just like making your bed in the morning, some people might see that as trivial. Making your bed in the morning has a much deeper psychological effect on your life. It's accomplishing something. It's something small. It's a small task that you're accomplishing first thing in the morning to set your day off in the right way. If you can't get in the habit of seeing the small things in this business, like the notifications and the checks and balances system and the groups and the amount of support that's out there, and see that as a good thing, you never will get the money that you need to get or want to get from this business. I mean that with love. Like, this is an online business, but this is a business. This is fun. And I'm at my house right now. I'm about to go to the gym. And most days I wake up, I go to the gym, I go take a nap, I come home, I do some calls, I take another nap. I do like 3 naps a day. I work hard when I'm awake, but I have my freedom. I can do what I want. I can do what I want because I have a system, because I have notifications, because I have the checks and balances, because I have other leaders that are duplicating what I duplicated from the people that taught me. This is what you need to beat into your head, is if you want to change your life, you need to start changing your mindset. You need to start looking at things like a business owner and not an employee. Don't look for the shortcuts. Don't look for what's the minimum amount of groups I need to be in? What's the minimum amount of events I need to go to? You should want to have more in place. If you can't make it to everything, awesome. That's fine. Everybody has their life. But ask yourself, if you have a team of 10,000 people, would you rather more events or not enough? Would you rather more support or not enough? If you bring somebody into this business that needs this more than ever, that more than anything else has no other real chance of being able to accomplish their goals, and you bring them into this, would you rather them fall through the cracks because of not being notified of something, or too much notification? Ask yourselves. So right now we're at the end of the month. We got 2 days left. I'm going to stop recording this first. Hold on.